Alrighty, guys, we're back for All Will Be Red, and this is a Duskmourn standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments. So thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. It was essentially to revisit my old All Will Be One deck list that rocked a bunch of oil. So that's what we're doing. All Will Be One is a 5-mana enchantment. Whenever you put one or more counters on a permanent or player, All Will Be One deals that much damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. Cool stuff. So like everything in here is going to pair beautifully with this. Like we got some battles packed in, for example. We got all 4 Invasion of Karsus. 4-mana Battle Siege comes in with 4 defense counters. Nice. And when it enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. It's a pretty good battle that I always have success with when I play it. So yeah, should do the thing in here especially. We got more battles packed in. Invasion of Mercadia, 2-mana Battle Siege, 4 defense counters. When it enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. This type of deck filtering really works well in a deck list like this. Like, for example, maybe you don't have to wipe a board. Maybe you're up against control or something. You could totally ditch an Invasion of Karsus and see what you see with that Mercadia. And it's a similar concept when you're rocking spot removal and stuff. Maybe your spot removal is really missing that game. Well, trade it out, right? Speaking of spot removal, we got 3 Torch the Tower. Cool. We got 4 Volt Charge. That'll do the thing, huh? It has Proliferate, so that'll work really nicely with our oily cards. We have a lot of oily cards packed in, like 4 Tablet of Completion. We actually don't get to see this too often, and it's always surprising to me because every time I read this card, I'm like, wow, that should be good. It's a 2-mana artifact. You could tap it to put an oil counter on it. You could tap it to add a colorless, activate only if Tablet of Completion has 2 or more oil counters on it, which of course is really easy to get to. Then the bottom ability here, you can pay 1, tap it, draw a card, activate only if Tablet of Completion has 5 or more oil counters on it, which honestly shouldn't be too bad, especially when we have Monumental Facade over here in the mana base as a 4 of as well. With that bottom ability, able to trade oil counters off of this land onto your artifacts or creatures. More oily things. We got a couple of Filigree Sylex, which I'm actually not going to go over right now. Same thing with Urabrask's Forge. We got a couple of these packed in. This is actually one we get to see a lot in Boros token control. Actually, we just kind of get to see Urabrask's Forge a lot in general, don't we? We also have a couple Bandit's Hall. The loot counter should really do the thing. This has also just been my choice mana rock for a lot of these builds, and it's been amazing. Bandit's Hall has been really, really good for me, and I don't see too many people playing with it. Just keep your eye on this card. I've been having a lot of success with it. More cards that come in with counters. Overlord of the Boilerbilges here. This is a 6-mana 5/5, but it has Impending 4/4, 2 and double red, so it can come in as a 4-mana card with 4 time counters on it. Beautiful. Now, when it enters or attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target. This should pair really well with All Will Be One when you're playing it out for the impending cost, of course. We also have a top-end Chandra Hope's Beacon. Of course, it comes in with a loyalty counter, so that'll work well with the All Will Be One. But other than that, it's just a beast of a planeswalker. A card that doesn't pair with the whole counter theme or All Will Be One theme is actually Ghost Vacuum in here as a 2 of. This is to hit the Reanimator decks. We're seeing a lot of Reanimator and a lot of mini Reanimator too. And also, it wouldn't be unheard of to go ahead and Ghost Vacuum up your Overlord of the Boilerbilges, for example, that you discarded to like an Invasion of Mercadia, and then bring back the Overlord later on. That could be really, really good. Also in the mana base, we have Mycosynth Garden as a 2 of, as well as 18 mountains. That means there's only 24 total land in a deck list that I would probably usually run 25. But I don't know, I'm getting a vibe like I'm going to flood out in this one. Early ramp with Tablet and ramp with Bandit's Hall, I think we'll be fine at 24. Oh, and then of course trading out to find more land with the Mercadia. Honorable mentions. Millennium Calendar almost made the cut. The other invasions like Invasion of Tarkir and Regatha could have been really cool in here. Other planeswalkers like Jaya and Koth also could have been pretty cool in here. And I also considered Rampaging Raptor too. Just something to consider. All these honorable mentions for a very good reason. All right, hopefully I went over the deck list well enough. Either way, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Well, I think it's going to be janky, so that means we're gonna absolutely clean house today. Yeah, no, it should technically be janky, but honestly, I mean, we got a lot of good cards packed in, a lot of good synergies. Only 2 mana in the opener. Way to trade out. I like this hand, actually. We go first, too. Keep the Torch the Tower open for turn 1. 24 mana. There's a good chance of seeing our third in time. Hey, Tablet of Completion's beautiful, though. Nice. Get the counters rolling on this. Now we have an option to trade a counter off of the facade onto the tablet and still tap the tablet next turn. So it depends on what we end up seeing off the top. If we see our third, then we'll go into the Bandit's Hall. Carrot Cake. Okay. Tablet of Completion number 2. So we probably do that then. Although Invasion, try to find our third land, could be pretty good too. And we could actually maybe get rid of the Torch the Tower. We don't entirely know what the opponent's playing. Yeah, let's try to find our third. That's probably a good idea. And hopefully I don't regret ditching this Torch the Tower. We'll see though. There's our third. All right. Now we can play that, and we can also tap this so we're not just holding up the opponent for their entire turn. So if we were guaranteed to find the third, ditching a different card and leaving Torch the Tower open could have been pretty good too. Ditching the second Tablet of Completion potentially could have been a good choice. When it's Bunny Rabbits, I mean, we can anticipate that this is going to be mono white mid-range, and Invasion of Karsus could be enough for mono white mid-range. Okie dokies. I think we might just go into the Invasion of Karsus. 2 Bunny Rabbits and then the Invasion's on the board. Actually, just like Bandit's Hall. I guess that also works. I apologize, opponent. For some reason, the hand is super simple, but we have a lot of decisions to make here. We do have Tablet of Completion number 2 open too. Since this one's already tapping, I guess we'll go for it. Get it all out onto the board, then we get the oil rolling on this tablet too. I guess that's fine. There's no real reason to hold this open for the opponent's entire turn. Not until it can actually do other things too. Like this tablet can tap for mana, so might be a good idea to leave that open till the end of the opponent's turn and then put the oil counter on it, right? Okie dokies, extra Bunny Rabbits. All will be one. All right. Sweet. Good draw. Oh, Get Lost exists in these deck lists, though, for sure. That's not going to stop me. I'm playing it. Let's do this. All right, let's poke a Bunny Rabbit. And Bandit's Hall commits a crime, so we get to poke another Bunny Rabbit. These poor little bunnies. Cool, man. I don't expect All Will Be One to stick around for too long, though. Yeah, Get Lost is the choice spot removal in a lot of these. So I'll take the extra map tokens. We don't have too many creatures to put the map tokens onto, though. Get Lost. Gasp. I am shocked. If it wasn't Get Lost, wow, I think, I don't even know. If that passed back to us with the All Will Be One, I think this would have heavily started leaning towards us. So it's noteworthy that All Will Be One cannot hit your other battles, by the way, so definitely noteworthy there. Like Volt Charge and everything. The Proliferate on the Volt Charge is going to be wild. I don't know where I want to... I don't know what I want to do. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking. This is like... I'm tempted to get these up to draw level. That's one thing. I want to save these back. Volt Charge is ready. I'll save the Volt Charge for their turn. How about we just keep it all open and just keep Volt Charge? Oh, that does mean main phase 2 will get... Yeah, we have 3 and 2 Tablet of Completion, so we can play the Ghost Vacuum at the very least for the turn. Then Volt Charge and Tablet of Completion for oil for the turn. Or we could have went Facade, Sorcery Speed, put extra oil onto the completion, not played the vacuum, still had the 3 open for the Volt Charge, and still been able to tap the tablets. Yeah, I want to get these to the level where we can draw, especially since we've only seen 3 mana this game. It's kind of wild to think about. We want to draw into our important cards like the Overlord. And more. All will be ones too, but I don't think they'll survive very long. Speaking of Overlord. Okay. We're gonna obviously skip the creatures because we're gonna wipe the board with the invasion. Still got 2 planes open. Do we want to go Volt Charge onto the invasion or just their face? Dollmaker Shop too, wow. So we're not too concerned, we'll take the 1 here. Yeah, Invasion of Karsus coming down next turn. I don't think hitting their face actually does too much for us, but 3 damage to the invasion also doesn't do too much for us. So we go Oil Counter. Oil Counter. And then Volt Charge. And Proliferate. We want to make sure we put 1 onto their Overlord as well. Nice. Cool. And then I will tap Ghost Vacuum too. There's a lot going on, man. We'll get rid of their Get Lost, I guess. I guess that's fine. All right, there's some land. It's not like we are in desperate need for land, but... So if we go... Still have 4. If we go remove an oil onto tablet, that's 4. Then we go 1. No, we'll only have 3. Okay. Okay, this is what I mean, man. There's a lot going on here. But we will be able to draw on the Bandit's Hall and still have the invasion open. So that's something we could do. Tablet of Completion number 4. Okay, then. Let's wipe this board. This might be a very long game, dude. Holy cow. Okay. But yeah, these are 1 oil away from drawing, which is excellent news. Actually, if I would have went... Could I have tapped that more strategically? Instead of going Bandit's Hall... I don't know right now. That last turn is something to think about, I suppose. We'll keep their graveyard nice and clean. Oh, also committing a crime for Bandit's Hall is important, huh? That's good. Torch the tower. So we are in desperate need to see our top end. We want to get these tablets up to 5. We can draw on it. So it'll still take 2 mana. So that's something to consider from what I was trying to think about for last turn. If we go like this, right? Put an oil counter onto it. It'll still take 1, then tap to draw. They do have 3 mana open. There is a possibility that they have something that hits like non-land permanents. All right, next up we'll draw on the Tablet of Completion, which is tapping 2, and then we have Bandit's Hall. Remove the loot counters, or they do have a soul partition, guys. Luckily, we'll still get the draw here, but that is that's actually rough because we got 5 counters on that tablet finally. More mana, okay. All right. I guess we'll draw on the Bandit's Hall, and I think we do this all in our turn because it could affect what we end up playing this turn, right? Like another... Okay, Chandra. Oh, thank goodness, dude. Holy cow. Holy cow, we're in desperate need of top end and we found something, so that's good. We'll keep Torch the Tower open and Tablet to get this tablet up to 5 oils as well. All right, it's mid-range versus mid-range, and I feel it. My brain feels it. That's for sure. So Chandra could go -4, pop both invasions. That could be really good for us, but we got to anticipate that they have Sunfall and a lot worse. Swing with Fishy. Get a doll maker shop. Should I have popped the Fishy with the Torch the Tower? I might have wanted to do that, honestly. But I wasn't too concerned overall. Torch the Tower might have better targets. Caretaker's Talent. I guess they didn't go for... Where are they targeting here? Target Fishy. All right, there we go. That kind of works, I guess. All right, Torch the Tower. Let's do it. Bandit's Hall gets a crime counter. At that point, did we get a crime counter on our turn? If not, we probably should have went Ghost Vacuum on our turn and then considered Torch the Tower for their turn, right? Or the opposite of that too. Okay, keeping their hand nice and stocked up. Let's get that oil counter because it's the end of their turn. Also, I guess, Ghost Vacuum. We'll still keep their graveyard clean. This Overlord, once it actually comes out, is going to be super scary. All right, I think it's Chandra for the turn, guys. 2, 3, Bandit's Hall open. No, we don't want Bandit's Hall open. We want the Tablet of Completion open to get more oil, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea, man. We're just going. -4. We'll go ahead, flip both invasions. This actually does a lot for us. It gets us some chump blockers, first of all. Not chump blocker, actual blockers. But we were in desperate need of something like this. You know what? Maybe we'll use that map token. Yeah. Invasion of Karsus. I don't know. We already have one in hand. I don't know if we want a third one. I'm honest, I'm not sure. I don't know about that. Just looking for more. I'm looking for the Overlord for sure. Yeah, Sunfall should be scary, but if they do Sunfall, we'll actually have the Chandra around too, so, I mean, that's something. We'll have to go +2 for a couple turns, though, to keep it safe. Level 3 on the Caretaker's Talent. I guess these are going to be chump blockers instead, aren't they? Yep, they do activate both Caretaker's Talent, guys, getting their creatures up to 5/5. They want to take out the Chandra, probably. But no, they swing at face. Get a 1/1. Draw a card. So they're at 16. Invasion of Karsus also hits our Chandra. That's very, very noteworthy. So a double block, they take out the Refraction Elemental. They let us keep the Flame Right. If we take 10 down to 4, that's super sketchy. I think we're in trouble, guys. Let's just take the 10. I think we might be in trouble either way. Luckily, the Overlord doesn't flip thanks to our Proliferate earlier with the Volt Charge. Oh, that's pretty good for them, isn't it? Well, we get to Manifest Red. Let's see what we find with that. All will be one. Crap, that would have been awesome. Unfortunately, you could only turn it up later if it's a creature. So actually, both of these would have been huge for us. Man, that's rough, huh? Well, one goes to the grave. I guess we'll send the Volt Charge to the grave. We'll grab the All Will Be One for really no reason. That's brutal, man. Urabrask Forge? Okay. I mean, that's also something. So unfortunately, Invasion does not hit their tokens since they activated both Caretaker's talents. That Volt Charge would have been insane with the Chandra since it would have copied with the top passive ability. I think that's it, guys. I think they got us pretty good here, but that's not going to stop me from playing out the turn as well as I can. So we start with Chandra's +2, I suppose. The -1 could help us. It's only instants and sorceries. I don't think it'll help us too much. So we'll go Urabrask Forge for the turn. It's 2 damage to the opponent's face. And then at that point too, we have the draw on the Bandit's Hall. We have the draw on the Tablet of Completion. Actually, we probably should have started with that too, right? Draw on Tablet of Completion. All will be one. Oh no. Oh no, guys. I guess it wouldn't have helped too much based on how much mana we actually have out there. But if we would have started with that, we would have had, what, just enough mana for the all will be one? I guess so. Go Ghost Vacuum. We didn't hit any of our creatures. Keep their graveyard nice and clean. Bandit's Hall's ready. I guess we could play the other Bandit's Hall and still play Tablet of Completion. And Refraction Elemental all along is just doing 2, 2, 2, which is actually pretty sick, isn't it? So they're down to 10 now. And we could totally put that oil counter on. Dude, I don't know. It kind of played pretty well, didn't it? We're dead next turn. We could keep chump blockers, right? But I don't think it's worth it. I would just go full swing for fun, see how far we can get them, and then drop them the GGs. Because more likely, they have so many cards in hand, they easily just spot remove any of our chump blockers and swing anyways. Or do something like that. Creature tokens have flying, they would have flown in. Did I drop them the GGs all right here? We'll give them this GGs as well. Guys, I think that could have gone either way, honestly. Well, first of all, the first all will be one we knew wasn't going to survive. But that Manifest Dread, sending the Volt Charge and the all will be one to the grave. Could there have been a way that turn? Well, we could have... It would have been all will be one off the top, and then we could have drawn into the Volt Charge. Volt Charge not hitting the 5/5s. I think the double Caretaker's Talent was the nail in the coffin. If it was one Caretaker's Talent, maybe we could have gotten around that a little bit better. Especially since the creatures would have just... The token creatures would have just been 3/3s, so of course our invasion would have hit it too. There's a lot to think about there, man, because also our Chandra would have been eaten up by our invasion as well. Probably would have been fine because we could have swung into it, and getting 2 of the refraction elementals onto the board is actually really disgusting. Man, that game was something. That was a good game. That was. All right, opponent goes first. All will be one in hand. There's the Overlord. I think this would have been huge that game too. Even though we didn't see too much mana early on, it didn't really matter. We had a lot of ramp. And then all 4 Tablet of Completions was good, but also felt a little unlucky seeing all 4 of them, because all 4 was a little unnecessary. So I keep this because we got early removal and early ways to find more early removal. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hope I don't regret this. I'm going to send a mountain. Tablet of Completion, nice. It's going to be Invasion of Mercadia if they have us discard this turn. If they don't, that's great news. Mycosynth Gardens, nice. Probably get the mountain down, though. Tablet of Completion. This is probably just spot removal for creatures. I'm not going to hold up the opponent's turn with that, so I'm going to tap it now. Liliana, Invasion, right? I think so. Torch the Tower also hits... Oh, crap. Except it doesn't hit for 4 damage. Liliana's a problem with this hand. I think it's Invasion. Overlord's also going to miss it too. So we don't got the 4 yet. We got to get the oil counter for the turn. Then this will be ramp. So the other discard will probably be Mycosynth, but then Liliana will be at 5, so Overlord still misses. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. This early of a Liliana lockdown is not terrific. Maybe we actually take the turn then to hit for the 2 torch the tower. So we're going to have to double down on this Liliana probably. This time around, we're going to keep it all open. There's a lot of problems with that, though, because, well, the discard's probably Mycosynth Gardens, because I want the All Will Be One to do something. All Will Be One should be terrific against Mono Black, too. Okay, Mycosynth Gardens. Actually, I don't need triple red source. I should have played the Mycosynth Gardens, discarded the Mountain. I'm not 100% certain why I decided that I needed more red sources. I mean, we got, like, all these double red cards, I guess. All right, oil counter. Shielder's also a problem, of course, but just normal torch the tower, get this down to 3. And then Overlord comes down, finishes up the Liliana as well. Draw. Urabrask Forge. Crap, dude, I'm going to definitely regret sending this on Mycosynth Garden. Although, okay, impending with the Overlord. Take care of this Liliana. We cannot be in a Liliana lockdown state this whole game. We got to get rid of it. Of course, like, establishing an All Will Be One beforehand could have been pretty cool. We're 1 mana short from the All Will Be One. Forge doesn't help us block against Shielder, doesn't help us do too much. I think the Exile is the Forge. These discard deck lists have really been picking me apart recently. All right, let's see it. Let's see it. It's mana. All right. But yeah, like I said, picked apart, huh? Because we have everything on the board, and now All Will Be One's a little awkward. Luckily, we can still plug oil counters onto the tablet. I think Shielder's going to clean this up for them if we don't see something huge next turn. Something real big off the top. Another Overlord or something, right? Can't see Chandra. We don't have enough mana for that yet. It could also be any of our battles. No, not any of them. Actually, just the Invasion of Karsus, because it'll do 3 damage to each creature, and then All Will Be One will clean up the Shielder that way. They send 2 to the bottom. They might just go for the draw and Ruthless Negotiation. Down to 6, we're in danger. Hopeless Nightmare, down to 4, we're in danger, bro. Come on, something big. All Will Be One. It's something big, right? Well, crap. We have the tap on tablet, 1 damage. Nah, we'll just play the other All Will Be One because that's fun, and then we'll let the Shieldred clean this up for the opponent. So a couple things early on there too. First of all, it took 2 hits to get rid of the Liliana. I'm gonna stand by that play. I think it was very important to get that off the board. Mana sooner. All Will Be One before the Overlord. Maybe. Good game, opponent. I forget if I dropped it for you. The discard on the Invasion. The Invasion could have helped us find a bit more. Luckily, we didn't end up actually regretting the Mycosynth Garden play. Like, yeah, there are moments where triple red sources on the board is going to help out, but in this scenario, only 2 red sources with the Gardens would have been totally fine. Well, okay. Let's keep the ball rolling. I think we can totally roll it towards some victories too. And then also, guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description. We got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And then also for the YouTube nonsense, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And then also, if you enjoy the channel, consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. And thank you guys. Okay, opponent goes first. Tablet of Completion. I really like seeing these in our opener. It's so easy to become a ramp and then late game card draw. It's actually just really sick. We didn't see the Filigree Sylex yet today. That could have been interesting in those games. I'm going to keep it. It might be a risky hand if we're up against aggro, but we'll see. Oh, Demonic Ruckus for the turn. A lot of land. This could have easily been a mulligan, guys. Thran Portal with Ruckus. Boros Auras. Dude, this is another scary deck list. Manifold Mouse. Well, I hope we find some spot removal now, huh? But honestly, Invasion of Karsus should be pretty good here. Uh-oh, it's more mana. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, guys. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So, off the top, if we see... Let's see here. I mean, anything that does 3 damage, it's probably going to miss the Manifold Mouse now. Because the Boros Auras have Shard Mage's Rescue. And other ways to buff, too. They actually tapped out here, so 3 damage could still work pretty well. Going down to 14. Invasion of Mercadia. It's something, it is. It's not terrible. We can successfully play Mountain. We can still find like a Torch the Tower, get rid of our Tablet of Completion. Watch out for Auto Tapper in a deck list like this that runs cards like Mycosynth Garden, right? We want to keep the red source open for sure. Oh no, it's more mana. Oh no. Crap, but this would have been a great turn to actually get the Monumental Facade down. And I was all like, we could successfully get the red source down. No, we should have just waited anyways. Because Facade could have come down. We could have put that extra oil counter onto the tablet. Not like it's going to matter too much. I don't think we're going to get out of this one alive, guys. There, Manifold Mouse is free to go ahead and get some buffs like Ethereal Armor. Sheltered by Ghosts. They actually pick up our Tablet of Completion that we worked so hard to get to. But that means their Manifold Mouse still has 3 toughness, guys, which is huge news. Going down to 6, Invasion of Karsus cleans this up. We are flooding terribly as well, but this time we'll actually get the Facade down. Let's clean up that Manifold Mouse. Gets around the ward cost. Demonic Ruckus draws him a card. We get Tablet of Completion back. Don't want to hold that up the whole time, so I'm going to put that oil on it right now. We need to see more than mana, guys. This is 8 lands in the top 13 cards with 24 mana. Oh, it's more mana! Oh, no. Oh, no. That's really bad. Well, at that point, we might as well go other Facade, right? And then we can go... I guess you like this. They don't know what's in our hand, but it's only mountains, which is absolutely terrible, isn't it? And we can go like this. And Facade ability is actually only sorcery too, so I guess we'll put it all onto 1 completion. There's a chance that they see another Sheltered by Ghosts, though. Next turn, this completion will be up to the level. We'll keep it like this for now. Because again, they don't know what's in our hand, but I think they're totally safe, totally fine here. Yeah, this will be up to draw level. Oh, Sheltered by Ghosts is going to take our chunky Tablet of Completion. Womp womp. We will still tap it though. Oil counter, haha! I call this game unlucky, guys. That's what I'm calling. Oh, no way, dude. It's more mana. Oh my goodness. All right, well, Monumental Facade. This is like, we're going to do everything that we can do just for the sake of doing that. Mycosynth Garden, right? X is 2. Copy the Tablet of Completion. And we'll keep the Tablet of... The opponent must be incredibly confused right now as to why we haven't done more than shuffle around our Tablet of Completions. Haha, oil counter. And good game, opponent. Well, I think the deck list can perform much better than that, guys. Come on now, come on now. That's a little silly, though. And it's going to happen from time to time, too. Just happens to be Magic the Gathering. There's going to be games where you see an unreasonable amount of mana in the top, and we have to have ways around that. And that's what that Invasion of Mercadia is in there doing, too. Trading out cards in mid-range decks is actually just really good. All 4 invasions happening to pair well with the All Will Be one. I think, like, well, first of all, this hand would have been freaking beautiful in that last game. That's another thing, guys. I could have mulliganed in that last one, too. I kept a pretty risky hand. See, now this time we go first, though, so we might not even be up against aggro. So, I mean, we're going to try it, though. I don't think this is a mulligan hand by any means. But if we're up against mid-range, then it's not the greatest. I'll gladly trade out one of these mountains. Gladly. All right. So Monumental Facade could be good. Go ahead, plot up a Slick Shot Show Off. Nice. Okay, so our removal actually is going to matter then. That is good news. I guess we'll get the Monumental Facade down. Bolt Charge is open. Go Slick Shot Show Off. Let's see if they put anything on top of this. Obviously, we want to be a little patient here. Turn Inside Out. Are they going to be able to get this above the 3 with their other 2 mana? We'll attempt the Torch the Tower. Because we have another Torch the Tower. Alright, it lands. Nice. So the Turn Inside Out also goes away. Good. That was really good for us. They go for Callous Sellsword. Okay. I guess. We have it open. I guess. The Exile's good to keep around for their Heartfire hero and their Scamps and whatnot. But, I don't know. That kind of works, right? Filigree Sylex. I don't think we activate the Facade for the turn, because there's 1 mana cards that the Sylex could help us clean up. And Callous Sellsword. Okay. Well, I'll wait till the end of their turn to activate the oil. So I guess what we've seen so far is that 2 mana cards be more efficient to clean up with the Sylex when it comes time. A Volt Charge obviously hits the Callous Sellsword. I think we need to find more mana as well. That's what I'm going to start with. We're going to go Invasion of Mercadia, get rid of one of the Volt Charges and hope that we don't regret that, right? Try to find mana since our top end is in hand with the Chandra. There's some mana. That's a lot of mana, but that's okay. Mycosynth Gardens. We'll get the other mountain down. Wait for the Chandra to hit the board next turn. Keep the Sylex open, and I'm not going to waste the Facade right now. We might want that at 2. Yeah, not going to waste the Facade. I think that's fine. Because, remember, it's destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to, not like equal to or less than. I'm going to save the Volt Charge. We're just going to take the 2. Plus, they have 3 in hand. We could actually... oh, Bane Splitter. Oh... I'll just take the 4. It's looking pretty good. I think we're just going to take the 4 here. Okay, Scamp. Okay. We have a -2 on Chandra next turn. We will get this to 2 oil. I'm going to save the Volt Charge because I'm being very greedy about it. 6 mana. Urabrask Forge is pretty good. Chandra -2. So it still has 3 loyalty, which is excellent news when the opponent only has 1 card. However, their Scamp might end up hitting -2, you and you. If the +2 still was able to cast the Volt Charge, we would probably just do that instead. Turn inside out. Hey, that really works well for the opponent. As their Scamp goes up to 4, they get a... That being their last card in hand is so good for them because they're able to clean up the Chandra and get a 2/2. Very nice opponent. Now, the face down card doesn't have a mana value, right? We're probably going to still put oil on the Sylex, depending on if they play like another 2-drop or something. So got to be careful because this is going to clean up our Invasion of Mercadias as well. They're going to equip the Bane Splitter. Dude, that last card being the turn inside out, that's not something I was anticipating at all. Maybe a little less greed could have helped out there. I don't know. I think we're in danger now. Maybe we actually do just go for maximum amount of oil on the Sylex, and I probably should have started that a little sooner then. Okay, so getting the Forge down. And then going Volt Charge, you got to clean up their creature, right? We want to do that after the Forge actually has a counter for the Proliferate, though. Almost was a little greedy there. You could also go at one of the invasions. Flip the invasion. It's a good blocker. Could do that on their turn, too. Do we keep it open, then? Man, I don't know. This deck list has been melting my brain, though. There's a lot of decisions to make at any given time. It's too bad we don't see an all will be one. This would be a perfect game for that. All right, we'll try to take this out by just targeting it, and I hope that's fine. All right, that's good news. Proliferate onto everything. Cacophony Scamp, yep. I'll just go oil counter now instead of holding up the opponent. Going max oil on the Sylex could be good for the bottom ability if we need that last 10 going through. Mycosynth Garden. We're probably going to go Invasion of Mercadia, trade out the other Mycosynth. The first Mycosynth might copy the Urabrask Forge. Which could be really good, of course. It would be X's 3 to copy the Forge, or we could just go, Ghost Vacuum could be pretty good too. Do you have the 10 from the Sylex as well? Alright, it's Mycosynth Garden for 3 though, right? Copy the Forge. The Sylex is probably going to push through the last 10 if the opponent doesn't kill us before then, of course. We're going to try to start swinging at these invasions, too. If we full swing at this one, it'll flip. Actually, if we full swing at any of them, it'll flip. So, I'll full swing here. If we do it here and they block, that's one way for them to get it not to flip. And we prefer that they block. We want this Scamp off the board so it doesn't kill us next turn. Because being at 12, we have no blockers. The Scamp could easily kill us next turn, guys. Nice. So they do go for the block. Like I said, we prefer it. Holy cow. It's a monstrous rage, dude. We still might die next turn. Easily. Easily. So if I would have sung here, the invasion at least would have flipped, gotten through with trample, right? No. Well... they would have had to block here, which would have been a trade. All right, let's see their top deck, guys, because holy cow. I guess we have the bottom ability Sylex to pop the Scamp if we want. That would really suck, but we'll see what happens. We might have to do that. They swing. We'll take the 4. It looks like they might have actually missed the buff. Yeah, it's 10 damage to any target, so... Callous Sellsword. Man. All right. Filigree Sylex. Any target. I guess we could have also went Invasion and tried the block too. I think that would have been pretty bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't see. That's 7. 1, 2. I guess Monumental Facade then. We'll keep 1 on each of these. It's mid 10. We're still taking 4. We're still in a ton of trouble here, man. But we're holding it together by some miracle, and the opponent's really seeing it right now, but it's just not going to be unheard of to see it. Double Forge, we're still having trouble getting by the Callus Sellsword now, too, like swinging by to actually flip the invasions. So let's see if we can find some removal here. Monumental Facade is decent enough. We can tap this to play the Ghost Vacuum. And tap Facade onto one of the forges. Being at 4, we could still just die next turn, which is super scary business, man. At this point, we want to flip these no matter what. So we want to go 1 here and see if they block here. All right, let's see it. I don't know what the best bet for the opponent would be. So we do flip the 1, they block here to keep the Sellsword, and they can put the Bane Splitter on it then. That makes a lot of sense. But still swinging wide, that's still what we wanted to do. I'm pretty sure. Now, Ghost Vacuum's open. We have the Flame Right to block the Callus Sellsword. They really need to miss off the top here, guys, because if they find something, Heartfire Hero is something. They want to put the Bane Splitter on the hero. They sure do. Because now if the hero dies to anything outside of exile, we're going to take the 4. They got the swing. We are forced to block. What a game, dude. Holy cow. Have I been playing this out well enough? Let's take the... I guess... Cacophony. What's an Argrave? Overlord would have been pretty good this game, huh? I think so. Grab the Scamp. So, no matter what, Heartfire Hero dies, that means we die. Or they swing, we are forced to chump by some miracle, and then we die that way. So Filigree Sylex, not what we need to see, guys. I think this is going to be a loss. Oh, no. So, Sylex, pop the hero, we take 4. There's no way to exile this, right? Or they just block with the Forge as well. Darn, guys. That's brutal stuff, actually. It really is. We could have put the 1 counter on the Sylex as well. It doesn't really matter here, though. So we'll swing wide at the invasion and then let the Heartfire Hero clean up the game for them. GG. Brutal matches today, huh? Wait a minute. Could I have, since that was trampling through, could I have put 1 on the hero? I still trampled. It doesn't really matter. They just swing in next turn. But with the trample, I could have applied the damage however I wanted to, right? Could have put 1 on hero, let it survive. I mean, that's noteworthy to say the least. I'm pretty sure we could have done that. Unless I forget how the trample rulings work. Does it have to completely trample through the creature, the blocking creature first? Yeah, I think maybe we have to completely trample through first. I'm not sure, but it was having me arrange the damage. You guys let me know in the comments. That's one of those little nuanced rules I can't think of right now for some reason. Here's the deck list again, guys. Wow. I called it janky. I guess I was right. Nice. I know, I sound like a broken record at this point, but I've been very confused by the deck lists that I've been putting together. Sometimes I'm like, wow, this should be janky, and it just like outperforms expectations. Other times I'm like, this should be really good, and it just completely underperforms. This time around, I said, it's going to be janky. I made the joke that probably means we're going to win a lot. No, actually, it remained janky. However, I feel like we got incredibly unlucky in some of those games. You guys let me know in the comments if you agree. We got to do some rearranging somewhere, but I don't know where we want to rearrange. So first of all, put it on the do not craft list. It is way too expensive for how it performed in those games. That being said, if we were able to sit down for another 4 games, like right here, right now, I think maybe we could just win them all. I don't know. I don't think that the deck list deserves a 0% win rate. I think it deserves somewhere around that 50% and a little lower probably, right? That's why it would be jank. Maybe, awkwardly around a 40% win rate, which would make it still worthwhile playing if you enjoy jank because, we enjoy fun, not just winning. That being said, that does not change the fact that this belongs on the do not craft list, guys. All Will Be One, I don't think has ever seen play anywhere. So we might have seen the opponents play this like once or twice since it's been out. It's been out for a long while. It's mythic. If you got these already, then you might have been looking for this deck list somewhere to actually put these mythic All Will Be Ones into. This could very well be that deck list you're looking for, but it's also now rocking a bunch of new mythics too. Overlord is actually a really good one, and it would have been awesome to see a little bit more of this today. There's a lot of decisions to make throughout this entire deck list from turn 1 to turn 7. There's just like, I know my brain could barely handle it. I could barely keep up with a lot of that. So that definitely take note of that too. This was really tough on me. So more practice with the deck list would build more confidence as well. You'll kind of know then like, oh, I really can't use the Volt Charge here. I have to wait for this scenario, or you know what I mean? A little bit of practice would obviously really help. Other than that, if we were to arrange this, so we got Mythic All Will Be One, Mythic Overlords, Chandra, and then we got rares. It's very expensive. I guess the mana base isn't too bad. Well, the facades are rare, and the Mycosynth Gardens are rare too. And the problem with facades and everything as well is we really don't see oils that much too outside of like these videos, which is honestly surprising. There's so many great oil cards. I think Tablet of Completion is freaking amazing. It's just too bad we don't get to see it too often. I don't know where else it would actually belong. I think some control lists could utilize it relatively well. I think that's always something to consider with Tablet of Completion. In the games where we actually got enough counters on it to actually start drawing, some opponents were able to just exile it, right? Soul Partition. And then other games, it didn't really matter that we were drawing on it because once we drew, we just didn't have enough mana on board to do everything that we wanted to do, right? Some of those games felt close, but they probably weren't as close as I'm thinking too, because a lot of it only felt close because we needed, like we were holding on for dear life, and at any point we could have turned the tides with a proper draw. I think that showcases why Invasion of Mercadia is so important in deck lists like this. We saw all 4 of them in that last match, and we still weren't able to draw that well, which says a lot about the deck list too. And another reason to put it on the do not craft list. Let's go ahead and put that back to how it looks. Guys, maybe I'm being way too hard on the deck list as well. You guys can let me know in the comments. And I'll tell you what, if you do literally have all of these cards, if you have all of them, you don't have to craft a single one, then give it a shot and let me know if you can perform a little bit better than how I performed with it today. Because I don't know, you're looking at it and it's got this beautiful curve. It's got these great synergies. It's got these great oil cards, the oil cards that should be great. I also said, like, we don't get to see oil, but we do get to see Urabrask Forge. It's an absolutely terrific card, especially when you're pairing it with Volt Charge or extra oils from the Monumental Facades, too. There might have been some swings in that last game that I didn't optimize properly, like swinging into the invasions and stuff. If we would have flipped these a little earlier, had a little bit better chump blockers, there were some moments too where I just took 4 damage just out of pure greed and thinking that I was going to get the Chandra down to clean up their board state. That's something, dude. That means the last game could have just come down to that early decision of greed with the Chandra to try to duplicate the Volt Charge and duplicate that Proliferate as well. So I think there was a moment where Volt Charge could have cleaned up one of their creatures, taken 4 less damage, which means if everything was still going the way it was going and they eventually saw the Heartfire hero, maybe we would have had 4 more life there, still would have been in that game long enough to actually maybe flip the other Invasion of Mercadias and stuff and start rolling through the damage to the opponent. There's that moment too where we were literally forced to use the Filigree Sylex bottom ability. The bottom ability doing 10 damage to something in a deck list like this, it really shouldn't be too hard to get 10 oil on everything when we're actually trying to control the board state and the game goes on for long enough. If you have a couple Tablet of Completions, you might have like 6 oil counters on each of these anyways, you know what I mean? If you got them early on, so... yeah, the bottom ability on the Filigree Sylex, that doesn't mean it's worth having 3 or 4 of these. It's still a legendary artifact, so they're still going to sit in your hand. And again, another reason to have cards that actually trade out your hand too. Invasion of Mercadia can ditch the second Filigree Sylex to try to help you find more. And All Will Be One didn't do anything today, and I think that's going to happen a lot, guys. I really do. Get Lost is a problem because it's the choice spot removal. So that's something to think about. You could drop a couple All Will Be Ones and try more early control too. And still, like, you still have the top end All Will Be One, but you might actually survive long enough to see it. That's something to consider, right? We're opting for all 4 of them because I really wanted to see it today too. Either way, thank you again for the revisit request down in the comments. It's always awesome to see that you guys like deck lists so much from the past that you just want to see it revived with some new cards. So, I mean, hey, if you have other deck lists that you guys enjoyed from the past, let me know. It's a lot of fun to revisit stuff like this. So again, like, I'm being pretty hard on the deck list, but this was still pretty fun and a lot of really difficult puzzles to think through. All right, guys. Enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. We're almost an hour in. Holy cow. All right. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.